Ok, ahí está escuchando. Pues que el micrófono aparte estaba en mute también. Entonces estaba hablando por 20 minutos como idiota y realmente no se escuchaba nada. Nada está diciendo, supuestamente no hay microtransacciones, no hay loot boxes y no los están pensando agregar. Otra vez, porque no, mira. No sé qué tan confiables sean estos rumores. No son rumores, bueno, estos claims que están haciendo aquí de Star Wars. Pero... Ahí va. No se está escuchando, ¿verdad? Propiedades.
Right here at Celebration today.
Listo.
We've got the team from Respawn Entertainment here.
Un poquito menos en mi voz, ahí está.
The very, very talented developers of Jedi Fallen Order. We also have some special guests. We'll get there as well this hour. And we're all here, they're all here to spill the very first details about a game that I think I can safely say that everyone in this room is most excited about this year.
Claro que sí.
A Star Wars Jedi game, a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, I just can't wait to find out more about this game. Are you ready?
Woo.
Are you ready? Let's bring out the team from Respawn Entertainment out here to the stage.
How are you?
El buen Vincent. Vincent. Pela o cosa, ¿no? San Pela.
Wow.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Star Wars Celebration. And hello to the many, many fans that are watching at home as well. I know you're excited. Why don't we go ahead and start with a round of introductions so everyone can get to know you. Why don't we start with you, Vince?
I'm Vince Zampella. I'm the head of Respawn Entertainment.
I'm Stig Asmussen. I'm game director on Jedi Fallen Order, and I just want to say I'm so proud to be up here on the stage for my whole team at Respawn.
I'm Eric Contreras. I'm the narrative lead at the Respawn team.
Eric Contreras.
Hi, I'm Kasumi Shishido. I'm a producer at Respawn.
Yeah.
And I am Steve Blank, director of franchise content and strategy in the Lucasfilm Story Group.
Director de...
And the biggest title of the day.
Yeah,
That's the longest title of the day. And the Lucasfilm representative will welcome everybody. Vince, why don't we go ahead and start with you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history, about Respawn Entertainment, and how it feels to be bringing Star Wars
de Respawn y el
to your
último
already
es
impressive
de,
game resume.
de
So
Lucasfilm.
a small question we'll start with.
Básicamente de Disney.
I've had the honor of like working on creating some of the biggest IPs in gaming, right? Like with Medal of Honor, Call of
Sí,
Duty,
pues el
Titanfall, Apex Legends.
Call of Duty,
Maybe
todo fue él. ¿Qué dijo?
So to be able to add Star Wars, one of the biggest IPs in the world across any medium, is just, you know, a childhood fantasy for me, right? Like I grew up, Star Wars is part of my DNA. It, you know, helped form who I am. So, you know,
Y como muchos,
when Stig and
Star
I
Wars
started
siempre ha
working
sido
together, it was one of the things we talked about, like we want to do this game, and to finally realize
First
it.
thing we talked about.
esta super introducción al mundo de la ciencia ficción y la
and
fantasía.
a story game. This is a Jedi fantasy story.
Firmado un juego de historia. Después de Battlefront.
I think we're known for being, you know, multiplayer shooter guys. That's not just who we are. This is a story game, no multiplayer, no microtransactions. It's about being a Jedi.
Me hace pensar, ¿habrán creado Apex Legends como pago a EA
That's why, you know, you bring experts like Stig on, who, you know,
para poder hacer
again,
este juego
Stig,
como un
I've known for a
juego
long
de
time.
historia single
I
player?
tried to get him to work with me. God of War 3, one of my favorite games of all time.
God of War.
He finally said yes, and I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and just to go off script here a little bit, one of the reasons I'm hosting this panel is that I actually got to work with Stig at my time during PlayStation. I can tell you, with very direct firsthand experience, what.
¿Qué? ¿Qué? No puede ser. ¿Se cayó? ¡Se cayó! ¿Qué onda con esto? A ver. Sí, a todos. Todos en el chat están de que ¿qué? ¡Ah! ¿Por qué?
Yeah, coming to Respawn was been such a wild ride. I came out here in what, 2014? Even before that, we were talking about Star Wars.
Tuvimos que cambiar a YouTube, se pidiera más el de Twitch.
I got this, opportunity to build a team with several members that were already at Respawn on the Titanfall team to build up a team from scratch. And that's something you don't really get to do very much in this industry, especially on AAA. And since we were an indie studio and Titanfall was such a big success, we had the ability to kind of build slow and steady. That's something that you never get to do in games. So along the way, we picked up great veterans in the industry, people that worked on games like Uncharted, of course, God of War, Batman,
tienen gente de Uncharted, tienen gente de God of War,
and of course, Titanfall and Call of Duty.
De Konami.
To say we're a mashup crew is an
Contrataron
understatement,
gente de todos esos que trabajaron en todos esos proyectos para traérselos a este.
When I come into work every day and I feel the vibe and I feel the energy in the studio and I actually get my hands on the controller and I see that we're making something that's really, really fun, it makes me feel great. It makes me know that we're on the right track, and I can tell you I'm super confident that we're onto something.
That's great. And you mentioned, of course, that it is a story-driven game. I want to take it over to Steve from Story Group at Lucasfilm. Tell us about the process of breaking a new story like this for a story game.
Sure. I mean, the process in general of crafting any narrative, regardless of Star Wars or not, is a labor of love. It takes time, a lot of effort, a lot of people having all sorts of conversations from across Lucasfilm, Respawn, EA, Disney, everywhere. To craft something together when it comes to this specific story. And it's a labor of love, like I said, and we can't wait for people to learn more about what this is. And, everybody pitches in here. We all kind of get together and get to this point of making something incredible. And it all starts, when Stig and team first came to our offices in San Francisco. They pitched us right away on wanting to tell a Jedi story. They wanted to put a lightsaber in the player's hand, give them force powers, and give them that opportunity. And we were immediately sold on that premise.
You make it sound so easy.
Always easy. But no, it's that premise, that simple idea is a place to start. But that process then of finding the story and the individual narrative for this game, that takes a lot longer, and that takes a lot more collaboration, a lot more rounds of iteration.
Yeah, it's been a challenging collaboration. Iteration is so important in game development. You want to execute on ideas rapidly and then, play the game to figure out what works and what doesn't. And the process of working on a licensed IP with an external partner like Lucasfilm can often push a team towards getting stuck in documentation or, create a culture of
¿Qué tal, Isaac? ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, we had to use different approach when
Poco interesante, ¿no que te gustó mucho Star Wars?
Star Wars universe and new contents. We are introducing a lot of new planets and new characters.
Okay, nuevos planetas, nuevos personajes.
So nailing down existing locations, for example, was something really important for both teams. So we did that by going back and forth on style guides or concept art.
Okay,
and even
entonces
today we do level
Lucasfilm para
playthroughs
sacar
together over and over.
arte conceptuales de las películas viejitas.
Absolutely, and it's, as we've kind of all been alluding to, getting everybody aligned and getting everyone sort of centered and focused on executing a specific story, it's a lot of hard work, but everybody is driving towards the same goal, which is making a badass, kick-ass Jedi Star Wars game for people to love.
It sounds really good when you say it out loud.
Es que no puedo ver qué va a ser single player.
Yeah, we come a long way.
Well, so
Yo desde chico, la verdad,
let's get into it. I mean,
siempre,
it's killing, the anticipation's killing me over here. So, I mean,
tengo un
here's
tío
what we
que
know about the game
me
so
ponía las
far.
películas, pero
We
tenía los
know
cassettes
that
originales, las
Star Wars
versiones
Jedi Fallen
viejitas.
Order takes place
Y
after
desde
Order
ahí
66.
me volví súper fan. A mi
right?
papá
Star
también le
Wars
gusta,
Episode
pero
3,
creo que
Revenge
fue
of the
más por mi
Sith.
tío que...
And you're a Padawan who
que eres súper,
survives
súper,
those
súper fan.
events. And that's really all that we know. What else can you tell us
Y
about
me
the
acuerdo que
story
nunca me
or
gustó
the
la 1,
gameplay,
el
anything
episodio
today?
1.
Well, high level.
Lo fui a ver y fue como que, no.
It's a action,
Y dije, ¿por qué no me
melee
gusta
game.
si se supone que Star Wars?
So
Y
you
después
play
cuando vi
as
que
a
todos
Jedi
opinaban lo
on
mismo,
the
dije,
run
ok, estaba
in
en lo correcto.
training, with a lightsaber and force powers. Now, we know the Star Wars audience is huge. We want to be able to please all Star Wars
Hay mucha
gamers,
gente a
so
la que
we
les
make sure
gusta
that the
así
combat is
como
something that's
que
easy
con
to pick
rasgos
up.
asiáticos,
But
bonitos.
also, if you put the time in, you can master
Está,
it. It has a lot of depth.
está bonita.
So for us, it's important that we strike that right balance. This is Star Wars, but what I will say is combat is key for us. Internally, we call the
Ok, van a
combat
hablar
in the
del
game
combate.
thoughtful
Ok.
combat. And what that means is you really have to size up your enemies, identify and exploit their weaknesses with all the powers that you have.
Creo que especialmente como quiera en
I could keep on talking about
en
it,
Star Wars
but
es
we
muy
actually have a
importante
trailer
ver
today
¿Qué dijo?
I told you they'd like that.
I could keep on talking about it, but we actually have a trailer today.
I told you they'd
Trailer,
like that.
trailer.
Oh, you're not waiting till the end of your panel to show a trailer. Wow, that's
Se robó de atrás el general
already.
Grievous.
I don't think anyone's going to argue
sé
with
todo,
that. I
porque-
want to see a trailer.
Wait a minute, can I qualify?
Yeah, please set it up for us.
First of all, huge shout out to everybody
Sí, el
at
general
Respawn
Grievous
and
es,
EA
sale hasta
for all the hard
el
work that
episodio
was put into
3.
this. We're
Bueno, de hecho
super proud to be
sale
showing
en la
this to the
serie
world.
de Clone Wars, la que era con
One
caricaturas.
thing that's
Ahorita
important that
hicieron
everybody
pues
knows
una
is
animada
this
en
is
3D,
Celebration, and I
pero
think people want to know a lot about the story. So we
salió
decided
primero
to
en la serie
focus
animada
on a
sin caricaturas
story-based trailer,
y
so this is not raw
ya en el episodio
gameplay,
trajeron un
but it is
personaje
all
establecido.
gameplay assets that you will find in the game, and it is all rendered in engine.
No sé si
Last
sepa,
but
bueno,
not least,
no creo
we
que
will be
sepa eso,
introducing a
pero
new hero to the galaxy.
es el robot de los 4 brazos,
and
el general
he will
Grievous.
be introduced in this trailer, and his
Supuestamente
name
lo
is
inventaron
Cal.
cuando el
wanna
güey que
see
lo estaba
it?
haciendo vio una pluma
Yeah!
y se imaginó
Here is
la
the
cara
world
así sobre
premiere
la figura
of
de la
Star
pluma.
Wars
y-
Jedi
dijo,
Fallen
¿qué-
Order.
qué
Let's take a
pedo,
look.
güey? Entonces ese personaje es una pluma prácticamente inspirada en los rayos. Está trailer.
Wasn't always like this. But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out. Accept the past.
Ya busqué a quién te refieres con ese nombre. Approve.
No one. The galaxy's changed. Whatever you do, don't reach within.
Oh, ya la capté. Que le está diciendo que se contrajeran la fuerza y lo detectaron. En la noche.
Don't stand out.
En la noche la busco otra vez.
Accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
Trust no one.
O sea, sí está haciendo todo lo que le están diciendo que no haga.
Trust only in the Force.
Sí.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Sí, sí me emocioné.
I have so many questions. Why, between this and episode 9, why is 2019 so amazing? That was incredible. There's so
I have
much.
to say, I've seen that trailer multiple times before today, but watching it up there in front of everyone, it's emotional.
It's unbelievable.
Wow, really incredible.
¿Cuándo dijeron que supuestamente se iba? Es que se filtró en la mañana la fecha de lanzamiento.
So let's just dive right in. Help us out with the story here. Tell us about the story, Aaron. Why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I am so ready to talk about the story. So as many of you here today probably know, for 1,000 generations, the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic, before the Dark Times,
Aquí está,
before the Empire.
justamente.
And our story set during
15
those
de
dark
noviembre.
times. The Empire is at the height of its power. The Jedi were reviled as traitors. Inquisitors roam the galaxy, hunting for any surviving Jedi or any other Force sensitives. You're going to play as Cal Kestis, as Stig said, a young Force user who's hiding in plain sight as the game
El
opens.
tráiler,
Cal
pues
becomes
sí.
a target of the Imperial
Me
Inquisition.
imagino que es el estilo que
Master
quieren
of
agarrar.
Force
No creo que quieran agarrar un estilo 100%.
Wow, that sounds great.
Realista.
Tell us more about Cal. Now, what's it been like to develop this brand new character, this hero Jedi?
So credit for creating Cal has to go to Stig and one of our writing team, Matt Miknovitz.
Matt Miknovitz. Oh, he's Matt Miknovitz, a writer from the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, that's
Oh, o sea que
Fantastic.
la historia la desarrollaron el equipo de Star Wars Rebels.
Right.
Y ellos fueron los que inventaron el personaje y todo, que están trabajando con ellos.
Like smart, talented group of people
Nice.
who make my life very interesting all the time. Anyway, so as you saw in the trailer, Cal's living in hiding. It's on a planet called Bracca, which is in the Mid-Rim. He's part of the Scrapper Guild, and he works tearing apart derelict starships, mostly decommissioned capital ships from the Clone Wars. It's really hard, dangerous work. The Dark
Ok,
Times
es como
have
que
shaped Cal.
están
He keeps his head
recolectando
down,
piezas de todo
holding
lo
himself
que
back
queda
from
de
making
la
the
guerra
world
de los
around him.
clones.
He can't trust anyone with the secrets he carries.
No,
or fear
fíjate
they'll
que
leak.
no, ninguno de los dos van a
But
utilizar.
eventually, Cal does get involved.
Eso se me hizo bien extraño. Supuestamente va a usar Unreal Engine 4.
And learn to trust in new allies and the
Entonces, el Apex Legends es el de
order is to ever rise again. Cal must
Source
face
Engine
his
se llama.
failure
Es
and
una
adapt
versión
to a new
modificada
understanding of what it means to
del
be a
motor de
Jedi,
Half-Life
a guardian
2.
of peace and justice. After the bad guys have
Pero
won
no,
and all hope is
Respawn nunca ha usado
I want to
Frostbite.
play this game right now.
Qué bueno.
That was amazing. And I have to say, looking at that trailer,
Yo creo que también por eso pudieron hacer el juego relativamente rápido. Como en
I
4
ran into
años.
someone backstage
No, menos.
who looks and sounds a
ver,
lot
¿cuándo lo
like
compraron?
Cal. And might know a thing or two about this character as well, because I'm pretty sure it's the actor that plays Cal. You want to meet him?
¿Me
All
quieres
right.
presentar?
Well, you may know him from Gotham.
Ah, un
You may
actor.
know him from Shameless.
Yeah.
But soon you'll know him as Jedi Cal Kestis. Please welcome Cameron Monaghan to the stage. Cameron.
¿Quién es? Ah, es el que hace de Joker en Gotham.
What's up?
Él va a ser el personaje principal acá.
Hi, Chicago. This is amazing. This is straight up one of my favorite cities in the world. This place has a lot of personal significance for me, so I can't believe I get to show the trailer here of all places. This is amazing. Give it up for Chicago.
Yeah.
Just the city itself. Thank you. man. Give it up for
2017, en
yourself.
2 años hicieron este juego.
Chicago, Star Wars, and Respawn. I think we're all on
Y fue
cloud
en
nine
noviembre
here.
cuando
This is
terminaron,
great.
entonces
How does it feel to be the next Jedi?
en 2
Oh,
años
it's
lo
no
van a
big
hacer.
deal. It's only every kid's freaking dream ever to be a Jedi. It's incredible. If I told my 10-year-old self who had the VHS box set of the original trilogy, and he watched like certain scenes over and over to the point that they were like fuzzy and worn out, the Darth Vader Return of the Jedi scenes, of course. If I told that kid that he was gonna get to swing a lightsaber one day, I think that his brain just would have exploded and leaked out of his ears. It's still kind of leaking out of my ears a little bit right now, I'll be honest. It's really surreal. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, Stig, what was it about Cameron that drew
Por el tema de
you
soporte
to
lo tenían
his
asegurado por el
performance
nombre
or
del
his
IP.
audition
Sí,
for the role of Cal?
Actually, that
yo creo que muchos de los juegos que estamos viendo ahorita que están teniendo problemas con Frostbite ya tenían en desarrollo desde mucho antes que eso. Entonces, yo pienso que a lo mejor ya hace 2 años cuando compraron Respawn, ya tenía, ok, ya no funciona muy bien Frostbite que digamos, vamos a intentar con este estudio nuevo que no tiene experiencia en nada en Frostbite, déjalos usar la tecnología que ellos quieran y a lo mejor por eso cambiaron a Unreal, que a lo mejor van a querer de aquí en adelante hacer los proyectos que tengan en línea. En EA, no sé, puede
I looked
ser.
at the review first. There was nothing there that was striking a chord, and we decided to continue the search. But Aaron's super thorough, and he combed through the other folder and
Tío, lo que estaba pensando hace rato es si Respawn hizo Apex Legends como el pago a EA, como aquí está tu juego multijugador que vamos a poder en línea, que vamos a poder monetizar por años prácticamente, y déjanos hacer un juego de Star Wars single player para nosotros nada más.
That's really, really amazing.
Todavía no es posible, porque si sacaran un juego de Star Wars multijugador en línea, creo que también estarían compitiendo consigo mismos, tanto con Anthem, como le ha ido mal a Anthem, y todo, ¿no? También contra Star Wars Battlefront 2, que ahorita sigue teniendo actualizaciones, y también contra Apex, obviamente.
Bring to life the character of Cal has been incredible.
And Cameron, what is it about Cal Kestis that drew you to that part? But tell us a little bit about that character.
Well, he immediately jumped off the page. He felt really distinct with what you guys had already built and created, but he has this sort of grit to him. He's street smart and wary, and he's been through a lot. But at the same time, there's this sort of optimism to him. He's ultimately a very good-hearted person, even though he's experienced much of tragedy. And yeah, that was something that immediately spoke to me. The story felt very human and very relatable, and it was something that I wanted to relate to and tell as well.
And I'm curious about the process of developing this character. To go back even further, Kasumi, what was the process like developing Cal? Was it a long process, iteration?
Yeah, it was a really long process. We spent a lot of time and effort into creating Cal and bringing him to life. Just within the concept phase, we probably spent about a year. And we knew who Cal was from a story perspective, but we really wanted to emphasize that in his visual design and outfit and every little detail of him. So I want to give a shout out to some of our
en oferta en PC. Un día me costó como $200 por ahí. 200 pesos mexicanos, como $10 aproximadamente. Y jugué la campaña. No quería jugar el multijugador, pero no me gustó. Que sí, tú solo sigue hablando.
So this is your first video game, is that right?
Yep.
Now you walk into a video game and it's not just voiceover, you're also doing, of course, likeness capture, motion capture. Oh, here, got some footage of you actually, some behind the scenes footage. Was it everything that you expected? Was it more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I kind of came in with the perception of motion capture, which I think a lot of people do when you tell them a performance capture of like, oh, you're just gonna do a voiceover and then show up and walk around in the suit with some balls on it or whatever, and that's yeah. And then it turns out it's actually much more in depth, and you're able to really pick up very subtle changes in emotion and movement and body, and create a performance that's really nuanced and detailed. You know, if the performance is there. So being able to explore and not only really be limited by imagination.
Ahorita me acordé del video de Devil May Cry 5, donde tienen la recreación del intro del juego y que salen con un monito así en un palito y que lo van volteando.
But it reminds me, Vince, of something
La
you
voz
said.
de la experiencia.
Just the sort of fluidity of your motion here reminds me of your gameplay comment about the importance
Así sabes que viene de buena fuente cuando sabes que ya hay experiencia de por
that's what we're
medio.
doing, we're playing. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the pillars of what we do at Respawn, right? It's the game has to feel good. We're making interactive entertainment, so the feel, the touch, the way things interact in the game is just so important. And like Stig and I are synced up on that, and if you've played his games, you know that. So it was just a natural fit to bring that feel from the first person into the third person now, where it's even more important because that thoughtful combat, that melee that has to connect and feel right and look good, and it's just something that was really important.
I mean, I'm a huge gamer and a huge fan of what Respawn have done, and Stig, as well. And I obviously wasn't involved in the creation of the gameplay at all, so I was coming very objectively, and I really wanted to see satisfying, weighty, visceral combat that had impact. And I gotta say, like, it kicks ass. It's Disney, I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but yeah, seriously, it kicks ass. It's
and
so
getting
cool.
to use force powers in there
Sí,
too,
dicen,
along
no
with
lo
the melee, and
multa por andar diciendo
that feel is
maldiciones.
all there.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, like, I just always wanted to know what it felt like to, like, swing a lightsaber and for it to be satisfying, and it is really satisfying.
Yeah, we only get to work on it. He's a new freaking Jedi.
That's actually great to hear about the gameplay. I do have to say, though, I'm still thinking about that trailer. I still have all of these burning questions, and I know we don't want to give away too much about the story, but we've got to go back to some story
tengo ningún
moments
headset de
in that
realidad
trailer.
virtual.
I know I'm
Compré
not
uno
the
el
only
año
fan of
pasado.
Star Wars Rebels in
Había
this
una oferta
room.
del Oculus Rift.
Right.
Lo jugué como media hora.
But I just have
como
to
unas
ask, there was a character.
2 horas más o
Who's
menos.
that?
Y ya dije, está
That's this lovely character.
muy,
So that is
muy
the
bien,
second
está muy
sister
divertido,
Inquisitor. So,
pero
a new Inquisitor
no sé,
that we have designed and developed and are introducing in this game.
mi
And
pensamiento
those
fue,
with
ok, ya lo
eagle
probé,
eyes, we have actually
me gustó,
heated up this character in an image
está
of
genial,
Darth Vader
pero
number 19, if you
no
go back
voy a
and take a
andarme
look,
poniendo
written by
esto a cada
Charles
rato
Soule.
como para
We have
justificar
put her already out in the
gastar
world, but it's from the design
los
from these
$400
guys
que cuesta el
as we were
headset, entonces
planting those seeds
lo
for what
regresé.
will ultimately pay off in this game. And
How
she's,
awesome is that?
Bueno, como quiera, ya me quité la espinita de qué se sentirá jugar en realidad virtual. Ya lo chequé, ya supe, ya.
Right?
Yeah, we'll be saying
Los
more
Senra
about
de Kagura, ahorita me
second
acordé
sister at a
de
later
esos.
date, but,
No sé si
I
eso
will
está en
say
realidad
she's
virtual,
exceptionally
pero
intelligent,
esos eran
and
los
if
que
you
iban a
watch the
tener
trailer, you'll see she's actually using the Force
un
to
juego en el
flight
Switch
stick
que iban a
and shoot that
poner.
Calzone during there. So she's very clever.
Iban a utilizar el HD Rumble para simular que
I'm
estabas
not done,
tocando
though.
bugs con el
I have so many more
control.
questions. There were more
Está medio
characters
creepy,
in there.
pero
There was
bueno.
this amazing droid character. Yeah, right here. Who's this little droid right here? What can you tell us about this droid?
That little guy is BD1.
BD1?
And internally at Respawn, that stands for Buddy Droid 1. And that's exactly what he is to Cal. They're best friends. I would not consider BD a sidekick at all. They're equals. And they go on this journey together, and they really learn how to lean on one another. And like we've been saying, this is dark times. So you need somebody to provide a little bit of light. And that's exactly what BD does. He actually, one of his functions is a spotlight. And that's just one of many useful tools that BD has that you'll be able to find and upgrade over the course of the game. The other really
va a
cool
ser
thing
entonces
about
como
him is his voice is
un
totally
aditamento
legit.
tuyo, una herramienta
We
más bien.
seeked out the talents of Ben Burt, who's...
Oh.
I know.
Ben Burt, the original creator of the entire Star Wars soundscape.
Yeah.
R2-D2, Chewbacca, TIE fighters, lightsabers, Darth Vader. That Ben Burt?
Yeah, I think there was a couple people on the team who were kind of around
Hey,
the same time
¿qué pasó?
arrived on this great idea, and Ben was totally up for the challenge. And the
Evitan la
vocalization
cárcel.
of BD is, it's whimsical, yet it's also endearing, and it totally screams Star Wars.
Ok, entonces
Maybe literally screams Star
el
Wars. at
diseño
times,
de
too.
sonido
We'll
está
have to find
siendo
out.
el
That's
diseñador
great. Well,
original.
what can you
Wow.
tell us about the inspiration
las
behind this
películas.
droid, BD1?
There wasn't a single inspiration. BD1 is like the darling of the development team, so everybody brought their own like background and diverse perspective to the character, and I think BD1's so good because of that. But in terms of execution, I want to give a shout out to Adnan Chatrawala and Laura Teef in design and animation, who have really done an amazing job of bringing BD1 to life, which you'll see when you play the game.
¿Quién sabe qué son esas personas?
When we were creating BD1, we looked at droids like BB-8, R2-D2, even Chopper. we really put a lot of research into these droids to understand what makes these droids so iconic and lovable to the franchise. So we worked really closely with Doug Chang and Hez Chorba from Lucasfilm to create the visual design of this droid. And it was a really fun process. We started off with something that looks familiar to us, like everyday appliances, like a vacuum cleaner or a Roomba, or we had even a version that looked like a tiny ATST with a camcorder head. So we explored a lot of options, but this is where we ultimately landed, and we're really happy with the result.
There was another inspiration, though, too, wasn't there, Aaron?
Yes, my dog, Mary the Boston Terrier. When I wrote the biography for BD1 was at the forefront of my mind, and just so you guys know, she's a very good dog.
Okay, el primer
And
diseño va a ser
BD is
como
a
un
very good
perrito.
droid. You know, he's like Cal's closest companion throughout the story. It's a little bit of like a boy and his dog situation, and they become very close, and BD provides a lot of the light of the story, and not to undersell his usefulness at all, but some of my favorite scenes are the interactions just between BD and Cal.
And the smoothness with which they interact is just great within the game. Like the team has really nailed it.
And Cameron, in that behind-the-scenes footage, I saw you with a lot of other talented actors as well. Can you tell us about some more of the cast that we saw in the trailer? You had a friend there that was helping you as well.
Yeah, we have. That's Seer, played by Deborah Wilson, who is a former Jedi Knight and kind of takes on the role of mentor to Cal in many ways. But it's not the traditional Padawan master sort of relationship. Instead, there's this group that kind of band together to form a sort of kind of a strange family. This weird little team that band together to explore the galaxy, and I think that's ultimately the real heart and core of the story.
Como que se tartamudeó mucho. No sé por qué, pero pienso que
there's a bunch more that you haven't seen yet, who I think are also.
Que iba a decir algo.
Which reminds me,
spoiler y mejor se retractó y regresó.
I want to go back to the dark side because there were these incredible, I guess they were melee troopers here. Tell us about these troopers. They looked so good in that trailer.
Yeah, sure. So these are new troopers we are introducing called Purge Troopers. And creating new troopers in Star Wars is always a fun experiment. And finding the utility that you're looking for in the troopers. We've seen multiple variations over years of films and TV shows. We have Shore Troopers and Death Troopers and Snow Troopers and Flame Troopers and onwards. And we wanted to, develop something for this game.
Yeah, there's always a lot of rumors floating around in the galaxy of Jedi fightings, especially this time. And it's actually the Inquisitor's job to hunt them down, but like Steve was mentioning, there's so few of them, so they actually send these Purge Troopers to investigate. And when they do encounter a Jedi, they call the Inquisitors back in. But these troopers are also specially trained to fight Jedis, so when they do encounter one, they're really eager to fight them.
Yeah,
they even
entonces
los
a ver si entendí. Los Purge Troopers detectan donde hay un Jedi y le hablan al Inquisidor para que venga y
because as we were developing the story for this game and we came up with this need of the support for the Inquisitors, we were also simultaneously with Charles Soule at Marvel developing the Darth Vader series, which would focus
Disculpa mi ignorancia.
He came up with a very similar need.
Tengo la idea porque sí, cuando le da el beso en el episodio 4, ¿es eso?
And Respawn took the lead on designing these troopers, and then we shared that design once we finalized it. They actually brought it up earlier in the pipeline to complete it against Marvel's timelines. We shared it with Marvel, and so you've actually already seen these troopers in the background on a cover issue in the Marvel comic series. So
ok, entonces no son Stormtroopers nuevos, son troopers que ya están en los cómics.
Maybe? Would people want to see them, see Purge Troopers?
Now?
I think now.
You want to meet some Purge Troopers?
You want to meet some Purge Troopers? That's kind of cool.
God, bring them out.
¿Tienen un disfraz ahí?
No.
Ok, eso parece plástico, chavo. Bueno, sí, siempre han sido plásticos.
Oh yeah, get a selfie. Do it.
Selfie is not a bad idea.
Careful.
All right.
get the crowd in the background. We good? All right.
Say cheese.
Está claro que se le queda el teléfono ahí.
That is a very patient purge trooper.
That is a very patient purge trooper.
Lo escribiste,
They're
lo
trained for
escribiste
such
mal.
things,
They don't know you're a
apparently.
Jedi. That's great. I mean, first of all, I always loved it that, I loved the idea of the Jedi Purge in general in Star Wars. And then
You
I
love
loved
it?
what Rebels added to that with the Inquisitors. And it makes so much sense.
Hay varios inquisidores
You
entonces.
know, that what you said about, there'd be all these rumors about Jedi all over the galaxy, so the Purge Troopers come in. That's just such a great addition to story and gameplay, but it makes me wonder what kind of challenges these Purge Troopers are going to present to the player and to our Jedi hero Cal.
It's a good question. They're basically kind of born out of the Stormtrooper mechanically. The Stormtrooper was the first AI we got stood up in the game that we could fight against it. And one hit with a lightsaber, they go down. So they didn't provide much of a challenge unless we put them in situations where
los
there's like dozens
Stormtroopers
of them.
normales se mueren
Which
de
is
un
okay,
golpe
we
con
might have scenarios like
el
that in
sable.
our game, but like I said, thoughtful combat, it's not a button masher. So we needed to find something that was more of a meaty one-on-one fight. So that's how we came up with these specially trained commando units with Lucasfilm. And yeah, it's kind of been said, but they come into battle as they're airdropped in as the first responders, and they soften up the Jedi before the Inquisitorius.
Chanchas.
I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Now, I did have one last
Sí,
thing.
el clásico eso de la primera de que sí, pero Luke besó a su hermana.
It's been in some of the art that you released leading up to Celebration.
No, fue al revés. Leia fue la que le dio el beso a Luke.
Lightsaber.
How do you know that's Cal's lightsaber?
Well then, okay, all right. Well then, what can you tell us about? Yeah, you're right. It does look
Ese
very
no es el
storied.
lightsaber de...
Looks like it's been through some things. What can you tell us about this?
So the lightsaber, I don't think we're going to be talking about that until we release the game. You guys wouldn't want us to. It's so intimately tied to the story.
Okay,
It's
sí, no
just
nos
full
digan,
of
no nos digan. Si
spoilers.
son spoilers,
What
no
I
nos
will
digan.
say is that over the course of the game, it will grow and evolve, and in many respects is kind of a reflection of Cal.
The lightsaber will change and evolve.
You heard what I said.
Porque eso es lo que puedo ver, el elemento RPG del juego va a ser upgrades. A lo mejor va a ser en tus habilidades, pero también va a ser en el robot y en
I'm sure everyone here
el
wants to know
sable.
too, when? Right? When do we get to experience this story and play this game? When is Star Wars Jedi
Vamos a ver
Fallen
si era
Order
cierto que
coming
el-
into our
en noviembre.
lives and our homes to play? Vince?
Let me think about it. November 15th, 2000.
Oh!
15 de noviembre, sí, era ese.
This year, November 15, 2019.
Xbox, PlayStation, PC, full simultaneous launch.
Xbox,
this year,
PlayStation.
This holiday.
This holiday. Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4, November 15.
Creo que sí lo voy a comprar de día
2019.
uno,
Why is 2019 so
No lo voy a
amazing?
preordenar,
So
lo voy a esperar a que salgan los reviews primero, como 2-3 días
just
antes.
7 months away. Well, that's great. I've got I took so many notes because I had so many questions here. But I just want to ask you all if you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up. Why don't we start with you, Steve?
Sure. I mean, just being able to sit on this panel today, it's an incredible privilege to be able to share this information, this content we've been working on for a long time together with everyone here. I will not lie, I started getting choked up seeing everybody's reaction to the trailer. It's pretty incredible. And it's, like we were saying earlier, it is an absolute labor of love. Our teams, have come together and created something and spent a lot of time figuring out what this was going to be. And as they've shouted out the Respawn team, us too at Lucasfilm, a huge shout out to our games production team with Orion and Matt and Marco, Hez as well, who Kasumi mentioned earlier, and on our, my fellow story group members with James and Kelsey, Emily, Matt, Leland. It's just a whole ton of people who put their time and effort into this, and we cannot wait for people to continue to learn more and get their hands on it on November 15th. Thank you.
15 de noviembre, sas.
Kasumi, Aaron, any thoughts?
Yeah, what Steve said, but what we talked about and looked at today is really only the fraction of our game. There's so much more. And myself, everybody on this panel,
Quiero que
and
terminen con otro.
everybody back at Respawn in Los Angeles, we're
Desde que me
putting
no
our
promoción del
heart
canal,
and soul
pues
into
es
this
que
game. So we
realmente no
really
estoy haciendo
can't
nada
wait
en
to
este
show you
canal.
more.
no le hallo mucho beneficio a diciendo, no, suscríbanse porque realmente lo estoy haciendo para hacer live stream así bien esporádicos. Entonces no le veo mucha utilidad andarle dando mucha publicidad. Pero, ahorita que preguntas de un nuevo canal, el lunes voy a sacar un video de prueba de comparación gráficas de Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, ahorita que salió en Nintendo Switch. Lo voy a comparar con Xbox One, Xbox One X y con PC. Me falta grabar la parte de PC. Y va a ser como un episodio, un video piloto para otro canal que quiero hacer. Y ya cuando lo haga, ya lo menciono en Game Ranks, porque a ese sí le quiero meter tiempo, vaya, para que crezca.
Feel like I can hear Joe screaming from Los Angeles.
Me chita que termine igual. Enseñó un
He's still screaming. But
un video que ya grabé con un analizador de frame rates.
This is real. And it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Marcas más o menos de qué se trata lo que voy a hacer.
This is a very special opportunity that we have, and I'm confident that we're all going to do it together and have a great game on November 15th.
I love it. One of the things that sorry to just go off script here is, again, hearing the shout outs to the team, it's just such a sign of such an awesome team, and just kind of reiterates my feelings about you as a leader, Stig. Thank you for setting that culture. It's just amazing. Hi to everyone that's working on this game, watching at home. Thanks for your great work. Thanks for making 2019 so awesome. And thanks to everyone at Lucasfilm, too, for making 2019 such a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Vince, Cameron, any final thoughts?
I think that we're all, this team, everyone involved, is a huge fan of Star Wars, and we wanted to make sure that we, honored and respected the story. You're just kind of scratching the surface with what you're seeing here. But ultimately, for me, Star Wars is about finding hope and connection and light within the darkness. And it is a somewhat dark story, and it takes place in a dark time. But that being said, there's a lot of joy and adventure, and it's really beautiful what these guys have done and created. I think that they're being a little bit humble, but they should be very proud of the work that they've done. And yeah, we're huge fans of Star Wars, so we're honored to be able to bring this to you guys.
That's good.
Yeah, as you've heard, it takes a village to raise a Jedi. So, I mean, this is a team sport. There's so much work that's gone into it, so much passion out of people. I know, like you said, everyone on the team is such a huge fan of Star Wars, such a part of who we are. I'm honored to be able to represent, as part of that team today. And yeah, there's a lot more to the game that's so good. That's a good idea.
Well, we might, but there's something first that we want to do.
Sí, otra
we might
cosa.
show the trailer again, but who likes giveaways? Well, unbeknownst to you, before you all entered this arena, we randomly selected 2 seats before everyone came in, and 2 of you unknowingly sat in those seats. And what you are going to get is a really, really cool prize from our partners at Xbox. They're here giving away 2 of these awesome prize packs. An Xbox One X, of course, amazing. Not to mention a 1-month membership to Xbox Live Gold, this cool Jedi Fallen Order backpack, water bottle. What a cool package. So right now, Stephen and Michelle from Microsoft, where are they? They're out there. The cameras are following them. They're going to go to one of those 2 lucky seats right now, and pretty soon someone's going to find out that they're going home with an Xbox One X right there. Congratulations. Trust me, nobody wants to go anywhere just yet. That's great. And we've got one more. Is that right? One more? Where is it?
He's selected. He's behind you, David.
Oh, right there. Oh, there he is. It's already happened. There's the other winner right there. Xbox One X. Congratulations. Fantastic. Now, each of you were handed a ticket as you were watching the panel, yes? No? No? How are we doing this? Well, let me tell you right now, though. before we get to distribution, and it's not going to be handed out right here in the arena, each of you is going home with something really, really cool. Now, we saw some characters in the trailer, but you're also going to be able to get this really cool collector pin set here. But that's...
Some pins.
But that's not all. That's not all. You're also going to get, everyone who attended, 1 month of Xbox Live Gold for free.
Yo tuve que pagar 10 pesos por el primer
I already
mes
took the
y luego lo
promotional code, so
cancelé.
don't try it. But wait, there's more. Everyone is going to get this limited edition poster of this magnificent art right here. Fantastic, fantastic. So that's really, really great. I think I'll find out how we're doing this during the break, but while I'm finding out how you're going to get this, because there are distribution centers that are not here in the arena, we're going to give you instructions in just a moment on how to pick it all up. But right now, you want to see that trailer one more time?
Otra vez.
You want to see it one more time? Let's roll
Hey,
it,
Dark
Star Wars
Plunius, ¿cómo
Jedi
estás?
Fallen Order.
Se ve que, que a ti sí te gusta Star Wars. A ver, otra vez.
Wasn't always like this. But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out.
Me van a poner un claim en YouTube por la transmisión, pero
Accept the past.
no estoy monetizando esto ni nada.
Trust no one. The galaxy's changed.
Look out!
Whatever you do, don't reach within.
No sé, me emociona demasiado todo.
Accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
Trust no one. Trust only in the Force.
Definitivamente sí, ya estoy bien vendido con este juego.
Get that man a lightsaber! Woo! Hey! Found it? Slap it? There we go.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, November 15, 2019.
Dice noviembre, entonces el leak sí era cierto, el leak de la
Thank you so
mañana.
much, everyone.
Thank you to the team at Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm. And I just found out that before you leave the arena today, you'll be given a ticket that will have information about how you can redeem these great prizes that everyone's going to get here. Thank you so much for attending. May the Force be with you and have a great Star Wars celebration. Thanks, guys.
Termina ahí todo. Bien, bien. A ver, Isaac, lo que te había comentado del video. Prácticamente tengo esto, mira. Son análisis de framerate. Este es del Xbox One X. Y es ese tipo de videos que quiero. Con la fuerza en teoría no podrían volar. En teoría podrían impulsarse. Pues, pero no sé si volar. Ahí este sería el tipo de videos que estaría haciendo. No sería nada más esto así en silencio. Sería obviamente explicando que, qué onda con el framerate, qué onda con estas cosas que me imagino. Tengo que investigar, pero creo que lo que marca aquí el programa son que llaman frame skips. Y compararlos entre consola, resolución, a lo mejor técnicas de gráficas de mira, aquí en la esquina tal textura es más grande, tal es más pequeña. Aquí se utiliza una técnica de oclusión ambiental de tal tipo. Y aquí se utiliza una por ejemplo, así rápido. Las versiones de Xbox One y PlayStation 4, bueno, y PC, utilizan una técnica de iluminación bien particular, donde las sombras están muy marcadas. Y si nos vamos a la versión de Nintendo Switch, ¿ves? No está tan oscuro. Cambiaron la técnica de iluminación. No estoy muy seguro de por qué. Ah, si ves, el frame rate está bloqueado en 30. El otro está suelto para que vaya entre 30. De repente sube un poquito, a veces a 60. Y mira, ¿ves? Aquí está mucho más iluminado en el Switch. Pero se ve muy, muy parecido. Pero sí hay ciertos cambios, resolución baja. En el PlayStation 4, lo que pasa es que se supone que es 30 cuadros por segundo. Pero me imagino que hicieron una actualización. Porque ahora que lo probé, en ciertas ocasiones me estaba dando 60, 45. Me imagino que hicieron alguna actualización para hacer que se soltara el framerate, para que estuviera muy variable. Entonces sí. Sí, las sombras son un poquito diferentes aquí. Y eso es lo que quiero más o menos explicar, ¿no? A ver qué onda. Y como quiera el lunes sale el video. Si hay suficiente buena respuesta por parte del canal. Ahora sí ya es cuando digo, ¿sabes qué? Aquí está el canal, ese se va a dedicar a eso. Posiblemente sea un canal de un video cada 2 semanas, porque sí son algo laboriosos hacer este tipo de video. Me estoy tardando bastante. Ayer, nada más de grabar, terminé a las 8 de la noche. Luego todavía poner a analizar, y el proceso de análisis es un programa que analiza cuadro por cuadro. Entonces se tarda un poquito. Entonces yo creo que 2 semanas un video más o menos para este canal. Como quiera, ahí les aviso. Bueno, yo me retiro porque tengo que seguir trabajando en precisamente este video. Tengo que checarlo para poderlo terminar. Bueno, muchas gracias por acompañarme. Isaac, un saludo enorme hasta allá, Argentina. Y Dark News ya no respondió, pero si estás ahí, hasta luego. Quiera luego y les aviso más de este proyecto ahí en el canal de Gameboys. Chao.